Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Call of Duty Diamonds channel. In today's video we're going to be looking at the top weapons in Warzone. I strongly advise you guys giving these weapons a go. They are super good. In today's video I'm going to be running through 5 different weapons that you guys need to try out. So yeah, once again I do really recommend you guys giving them a go. But the first one is going to be the M4A1. Now, you guys have heard about the M4A1, everyone uses this weapon. Just like multiplayer, this weapon is really good, and it's probably one of the best weapons in Warzone as well. I'm going to quickly show you my attachments as well, by the way. You guys don't have to copy them if you guys don't want to. It is completely up to you, but these are the attachments I've been running that are the best in my opinion. As you can see in the bottom left, the accuracy and the range on this weapon is where this weapon shines. The accuracy is literally so high, and also the range on this weapon is super high as well. And as you guys know, Warzone is a very big open map, so having that better extra range on the weapon is going to be super good, and also the damage is pretty nice as well. And also it's got a pretty steady fast fire rate, so the recoil on this weapon is literally like non-existent. So a really good accuracy, really good range, really high damage, really fast fire rate. There's not much you can complain about this weapon, to be fair. Also, alongside of that, you can have a 6-round mags on this weapon, and also some pretty nice attachments on that make the accuracy 10 times better. Now the site I've been using is the Corp Holo site, I believe it's called. Now you can of course use whatever site you guys want to. The Integral Hybrid is also pretty nice, so you can use whatever site you guys want to. Feel free to experiment with the attachments as well. Once again, you don't have to use the attachments that I am using. It is completely up to you, but those are the attachments that I strongly recommend you guys using, and if you do use them, I reckon you guys will not regret it. Anyway, the next weapon on today's list is going to be the Growl 5.56. Now, the attachments on this weapon, once again, are pretty much similar to the M4A1 in the attachments and what they do. So, Monolithic Suppressor increases the damage range by quite a lot. As you guys can see, the range on this weapon, once again, is very high. And it also makes the weapon suppressed. And believe it or not, suppressed weapons on Warzone is actually really helpful, because people can hear your bullets, but not as well. So, it doesn't really reveal your place as much. Those are the other attachments I use on this weapon. Basically, the attachments on this weapon I like to use are just basically increasing the accuracy, increasing the range, increasing all of that kind of stuff. As you can see, once again, the accuracy and the range on this weapon is really good, and also the control is very high on this weapon, which is another reason I love it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and quickly compare the stats between the Growl and the M4A1, if you guys are wondering which one's better. I honestly don't know, but here are the stats for both of these weapons. So, as you guys can see, the M4A1 has a little bit better accuracy and a little bit faster fire rate, but the Growl has better mobility and better range, and also the M4A1 has a slight increase in the control, but that is it. So yeah, it's up to you, like, if what one you want to use, but personally, for me, it's going to be the Growl 5.56. In my opinion, this weapon is just really nice. One of the main things I love about this weapon is the fact that the iron sights on this weapon are super clean, and they are super easy to use, and therefore you don't have to waste an attachment on a sight, and instead you can actually go ahead and stick on another attachment that will like increase your recoil control or ADS speed or something like that. And that brings me on to my next point of this weapon. This weapon has a very high like mobility and very high like control. So the ADS time on this weapon is super speedy, and you can aim down the sight extremely quickly, which I have found to be very helpful, especially when you come up in a gunfight and there's literally an unexpected person and you guys didn't know he was there. If you can aim down the sight quickly and get your shots on before the enemy get their shots on you, then that is going to be very helpful in those unexpected gunfights, and trust me, it really does help. So I definitely recommend you guys sticking on. Like, of course, you can use the sight if you guys want to. It's completely up to you, but personally I recommend not using the sight, because the iron sights are very nice. The last weapon I want to go ahead and talk about is going to be the MP7. Now, yes, an SMG on Warzone probably isn't talked about too much, but trust me, this weapon is very nice. Now, if you are going to be using this weapon, I do recommend you guys using an overkill class and maybe sticking a secondary sniper on, or maybe another assault rifle, but it is completely up to you. Now, here are the attachments I use. Once again, Monolithic Express is really good, and all the other attachments basically increase the accuracy, increase the range, and that's really it. So, as you guys can see on this weapon, the Accuracy is really nice on this weapon. The accuracy is super nice. It's got a super quick fire rate as well. So when you are in like the final circle and you're up against someone, for example, if you're in a final circle and you have this weapon and the other person has, let's say, a M4A1, I honestly reckon you will outgun them with this weapon because the fire rate is extremely fast, and with that fast fire rate you're going to absolutely be able to gun people, and also the accuracy on this weapon is super nice. You guys aren't going to be missing any of your shots with this weapon, and as you can see, all the attachments I use are basically just increasing that accuracy even more, and the accuracy on this weapon is pretty nice. Now, like I said before, with the other weapon, the Growl 5.56, one of the main reasons I like that weapon is because of the nice iron sights, and that is very similar to this weapon as well. One of the main reasons I love the MP7 is because of the iron sights. The iron sights are super clean, and you guys are going to absolutely love using them. So I do strongly recommend you guys giving it a go. The next weapon is going to be the HDR. Now, if you've been playing Warzone, you probably would have seen that pretty much 99% of people are using this weapon. So if you're not using this weapon, you're basically at a disadvantage. The HDR is probably one of the most powerful snipers in the game at the moment. The AX50 is also a good choice in secondary, but personally the HDR is just that little bit better in damage and also accuracy and also range, so the HDR is my go-to sniper. So if you are going to be using one of these weapons, I recommend you guys sticking in overkill class and sticking on the HDR as your secondary. Or alternatively, you can actually go ahead and not use overkill and actually use ghost instead. This is a big tip for you guys out there. Use ghost instead of overkill. A lot of people use the heartbeat sensors in Warzone, and therefore you are going to actually go ahead and be seen on those a lot of the time. So if you actually go ahead and put ghost on instead, you can be hidden all for that. Now when you do use ghost, I recommend you guys using a pistol as your secondary, and then just waiting until you kill someone who actually has a sniper and then pick up their sniper instead. This is going to benefit you in the long run, trust me. This is a super helpful tip. A lot of people make the same mistake of using overkill, and therefore they can't use ghost on their class. But if you use ghost, you will be hidden off the enemy's UAV and their heartbeat sensor. Therefore you will most probably win a lot more games. So I do strongly advise you guys to go ahead and do that. Now, one last weapon I would also like to talk about in today's video is going to be the FR 5.56. The FR 5.56 is a burst weapon, and therefore you're going to have a bunch of different advantages than you would tend to normally get with a fully automatic weapon. The number one reason that this is better than a fully automatic weapon is because the accuracy is super nice. In between each burst, you actually have a reset in your recoil pattern. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but every single time you shoot a burst, in between the next burst, your iron sights will go to the original place that you originally put them, because obviously when you shoot once, the weapon shoots up in recoil, and then in between that burst it will go back to the normal place it was at. But with a fully automatic, you have a steady stream of bullets coming out, and therefore you're going to have a constant kick of recoil that you're going to have to control. But with a fully automatic weapon, with a semi-automatic weapon, you can actually not have to control the recoil pattern as much as normal. You can actually have a better accuracy, and you will actually be doing better with this weapon. So if your accuracy isn't exactly good on this game, then this weapon is probably going to be the weapon for you, because the accuracy is very nice and the recoil pattern is super steady. So that is one of the main reasons I love this weapon. As you guys can see just there, that is a good example of why this weapon is really good. So I shot the person, and in between each burst the weapon actually reset to its original place, and therefore I have a very accurate shot with this weapon. Anyway, that has been it for my top 5 weapons in Warzone. If you guys did enjoy, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. If we can get to 100 subscribers, that would be absolutely awesome. We will be posting a lot of Call of Duty content on this channel, so please consider subscribing to the channel. That would be absolutely amazing. Make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below as well of what weapon you have been using in Warzone and why, and also leave a class setup and maybe your settings as well. We want to know what weapons everyone has been using. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Relocating the safe zone.